Join me standing at the top of your mat. Just a little warning, I'm very serious in this video. Even poor Sprout, who tries to join me. Oof, no, go away, Sprout. Alright, at Tadasana, in the front of your mat, inhale, lift your arms high, and exhale, soften your knees and fold. Step your right leg back. Take your hands to blocks. Roll your shoulders back and lift your heart. Now, on your next exhale, extend your left knee towards straight, and then inhale, bend the knee and lift your heart. We'll just move back and forth like that, from a lunge into a gentle hamstring stretch. After a few repetitions, you may find that you can extend your front knee a little bit straighter. You'll also feel a good stretch in the front of your right hip and your hip flexor. The next time you bend your knee, pause. Lower your right knee to the ground. Press the top of your foot into the mat and interlace your hands behind your hips. Take a shoulder roll, and as you press your knuckles down, lift your thumbs away from your hips. You'll feel a stretch in your chest and in the fronts of your shoulders as well as in your right hip. Then lower your hands to your thigh, lift your right arm high, and twist your heart towards the left, bringing your elbow to your outer knee. Press your palms together. Pause here in this twist. Take one more deep breath in. And on an exhale, lower your hands back to your blocks. Curl your back toe under, lift your knee, and move your foot forward about 6 or 8 inches before you plant it. Come all the way up to standing, squaring your hips straight forward, straightening your knees. Your feet are hip distance apart. Start to hinge forward, keeping your spine long and your knees as straight as you comfortably can, bringing your hands either back to your blocks or to your left thigh. If you have any issues with your knee or this feels like too deep of a stretch, you can soften your front knee. It's important that you keep your spine long and your hips square as much as possible. Think about lifting your tailbone up towards the sky, imagining that your heart is melting down toward your mat. If your hips feel like they aren't level, try rocking forward just a little bit. You'll feel your left hip rise, and then your hips may be more square to the ground. This is called pyramid pose. It's a great stretch for the hamstrings. Making certain that your right block is stable. Keep your right hand on that block and take your left hand to your left hip. On an exhale, twist your heart towards the left, and as you inhale, turn your heart back down towards your mat. Do this a few times rhythmically, focusing on squeezing the obliques and the lats. This is a strengthener for your abdominals. And the next time that you turn and squeeze, pause and lift your left arm high to the sky. This is a revolve triangle pose. You may feel a deep stretch in the outer left hamstring. Pause and breathe here. Take one more inhale here, and as you exhale, lower your hand back down to your block. Soften your left knee and step your right foot back to your lunge. And take your left hand and block to the inside of the left foot. Sweep around to face the right, turning your toes outward, and bend your right knee and then your left knee. Back and forth a few times for just some easy side lunges. And then spin all the way around so that now you're facing the other end of your mat with your right knee bent and your left leg back in a deep lunge. On an exhale, begin to extend your right knee towards straight, but then inhale and bend and lift your heart. Move back and forth, working to keep your spine long and your hips square as you move into this gentle hamstring stretch and this gentle hip opener. Now, one more time, bend the knee, and one more time, bring your right knee towards straight. And then the next time that you bend your right knee, pause and lower your left knee to the floor for a lunge. Interlace your hands behind your hips, take a shoulder roll and press your knuckles down. Lift your thumbs away from your hips and open your chest and your shoulders. Continue to let your hips descend towards the mat so you feel a stretch in your left hip flexor. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, return your hands back to your thigh and lift your left arm high and revolve your heart now towards the right, prayering your hands. Continue to draw your shoulders away from your ears so your neck feels long. This is a great pose for releasing tension in the upper spine. Take one more deep inhale, and on your exhale, return your hands to the blocks. Curl your back toe under, lift your knee, and let's move the back foot forward just about 6 or 8 inches. Come all the way up to standing, square your hips forward, lengthen your spine and straighten your knees, and slowly hinge forward. Think about your tailbone lifting, your hips leading the movement here. Now continue to press your right hip back. If your hands don't easily come to the blocks, keep them on your right thigh. Maybe slowly over time, your hamstring will relax and you can hinge forward a little bit further. To deepen this pose, think about lifting your tailbone and letting your heart melt towards the mat. Continue to breathe, maintaining a long spine and a long neck. Your gaze will be just a few inches ahead of your mat. If it feels as though your right hip is lower than the left, shift your weight forward just a little bit to help level the hips. Now, make certain that your left block is stable. And bring your right hand to your right hip. And on an exhale, turn your heart towards the right. Inhale, return back, heart facing the mat. Move back and forth like this a few times. Again, activating your obliques and your lats. And then finally, take one more twist, pause, and lift your right arm high towards the sky. Squeeze your abdominals as though you're tightening up a corset, creating strong core strength here. Lower your right hand back down to your right block and soften your right knee. Step the left leg way back to a lunge and pivot now towards the left. Toes pointing out as you take another lunge to the left and then to the right. And then the next time you lunge to the left, pause, spin back around to a lunge facing the front of the mat again. Step your right foot forward. Come up into Tadasana. Yay! She smiles.